All right, let's talk about something that every single one of us has dealt with: pain. Now, we all know it's a huge part of being alive, right? It's our body's alarm system. But what is it, really? And maybe more importantly, what can we do about it? Let's dive in. So let's just start with a big question, one that might actually flip your whole understanding of pain on its head. When you stub your toe or you get a splitting headache, where does that pain actually live? Is it happening in your toe, or is it all happening somewhere else? Well, according to Dr. Sean Mackey, who's one of the top pain experts out there, the pain isn't in your body at all. Get this, it's in your brain. That throb in your shoulder, he says that's just an electrical signal called nociception. It's just raw data. The pain part is what your brain decides to do with that data. It's the whole experience your brain creates around it. And wow, that is a critical distinction.
Okay, so how does that even work? How does a little signal from your body turn into this big experience we call pain? Let's trace the journey from body to brain.
It all kicks off with some kind of stimulus. Let's say you touch a hot hand. Instantly, these special sensors in your skin, they're called nociceptors, they fire off an alarm signal. That signal zips up your nerves to the spinal cord, which is like a big relay station. But here's the key: nothing is pain yet. Only when that signal finally reaches the brain does your brain look at it and go, whoa, that's not good. And then it creates the feeling we call pain. So to put it simply, nociception is the fact. It's the electrical impulse. But pain is the brain's opinion about that fact. And because it's an opinion, it can be influenced by everything: our mood, our memories, what we're focusing on. It's exactly why two people can get the exact same injury, but feel totally different levels of pain. So if this signal has to travel all the way up to the brain, is there any way we can sort of intercept it? Cut it off at the pass? Well, the answer is a definite yes. Let's look at how we can actually hack pain, right at the source. There's this absolutely brilliant idea called the gate control theory that explains how this works. The basic idea is that there's kind of like a neurological gate in your spinal cord. Now, signals for normal touch, they travel on super fast nerve fibers. The signals for pain, they're on the slow lane. So if the touch signals get to the gate first, they can slam it shut, blocking the slower pain signals from ever even getting to the brain. And this is the best part. You do this all the time without even thinking about it. What's the very first thing you do when you bang your knee on a table? You rub it, right? Or you hit your finger and you immediately start shaking it. You're not just distracting yourself, you are actively, physically sending those fast touch signals up to close the gate and block the pain. It's your body's own built-in pain relief system. And speaking of weird instincts, here's a fun one. You know that overwhelming urge to just yell a swear word when you really hurt yourself? Well, it turns out science has looked into this, and swearing actually works. Letting a bad word fly has been shown to genuinely reduce how much pain you feel. We're not totally sure why yet, but hey, it's a real thing. Now, hacking the signal down in the spinal cord is one thing, but the real power, that comes from the top down. Our brains have this incredible ability to turn the volume of pain up or down based on our thoughts and our feelings. Okay, one of the most powerful ideas in managing pain is getting the difference between hurt and harm. This is a total game changer. Hurt is just the sensation, that feeling of pain. Harm means you're actually doing damage to your body's tissues. And in a lot of cases, especially with chronic pain, something can hurt like crazy without causing any real harm at all. Dr. Mackey tells this amazing story about it. He had a patient, a high-level tennis player, who'd been on crutches for months, totally depressed because he couldn't play. Now, his foot condition was super painful, but it wasn't actually harmful. So when Dr. Mackey explained, look, it's gonna hurt, but you literally cannot make it worse by playing, it was like a light bulb just switched on. The guy left his crutches right there in the office and walked out, ready to get back on the court. He just changed his brain's story about the signal. Our emotions have a huge measurable impact too. There was this fascinating study where they took people who were in that early, super passionate phase of a new relationship, and they found that just looking at a picture of their partner gave them significant pain relief. Get this, it worked even better than having them do a tough mental distraction task. So why is love such a good painkiller? Well, it turns out they work on totally different parts of the brain. Distraction uses the more logical outer parts of the brain, but seeing a picture of someone you love, that lights up the deep reward pathways, the same powerful areas involved in things like addiction, and that triggers this massive top-down pain-blocking response. So it's not just about our thoughts in the moment, the things we do every day. And this is a big one. What we eat can have a huge effect on how we experience pain. Dr. Mackey, actually lived this himself. He got a nasty case of food poisoning and then developed this awful chronic stomach pain that just wouldn't go away for months. It wasn't until the pandemic hit and his diet got a lot more predictable that he was able to become a detective for his own body. And he finally figured it out. The trigger? Anything in the onion family. As soon as he cut it all out, the pain was gone. It's just a wild example of how one event can reset your whole system. So what does all of this add up to? It means you have so much more control, more agency over your pain than you probably thought. It's not just this thing that happens to you. It's a process, and it's a process you can influence. So let's just quickly recap the big ideas here. Number 1, pain is the brain's opinion, not a perfect measurement of injury. 2, you can physically block pain signals by using touch to close the gate. 3, knowing the difference between hurt and harm can completely change your life by reducing fear. And finally, your emotions, your relationships, even the food you eat, they're all powerful levers you can pull to change your experience of pain. And that really brings us to the final thought. If pain isn't some fixed, unchangeable reality, if it's a flexible, modifiable opinion created by our own brain, well, that puts the power squarely back in our hands. So the real question is, what are you going to do to help change your brain's mind? Thanks for joining me.